So if you've seen the poster that I created, this is the, the communication, or sorry, the connection that you'd have. You remember, so subluxation, misalignment decreases movement. That influences layer 7 of the spinal cord. And then you've got, 3 different pathways it can go through. Number 1, the adrenal medulla can be affected, right? And it's not necessarily in this order, but if you affect the adrenal medulla, that's the HPA axis, and you actually set off cortisol or adrenaline. And again, we know adrenaline, the immune system has adrenal receptors, again, shuts off or on the cytokines and the immunoglobulins based on how much cortisol, how much adrenaline is being produced. So we know a subluxation influences that. Another thing a subluxation influences directly is sympathetic chain ganglia. And then look at this one, right off of there, all visceral, blood vessel, and immune system, sympathetic chain ganglia. We know there's a direct link. And then the other one, which really isn't talked about much in chiropractic colleges, unfortunately, is getting more and more, understanding. We're understanding this, but it's influence on the brain. So you go cerebellum, thalamus, cortex, hypothalamus. And like we, talked about on the last segment there with Bruce Rabin's book, and he talked about, stress. He talked about stress, the immune function, and health, the connection. That was his book in 1999. And he came out and he said, if you affect the hypothalamus, you trigger catecholamines. That trigger of catecholamines reduces the immune system response, right? Because of what it does to lymphoid tissue and so forth. And so when we know we affect the hypothalamus, you affect the stress hormones, you affect the catecholamines, again, you suppress the immunity. And this is this is what I want to remind you of. And this is where, to me, there's nothing that gets me more excited than to see the rest of the world start to come to us. And they don't say we're adopting chiropractic or we're coming to chiropractic. They just, by the words they're saying, the evidence that they're showing, the science that's backing it up, they are actually coming directly to us. And that's what we need to actually have certainty around and really be proud of. You need to be proud that the rest of the world is essentially validating what BJ and DD, even though they couldn't fully explain it, they're validating what we've always said. And so